In this episode, we're going to be talking about our Elite Real Estate Systems rebrand that we just finalized in 2024. And we're going to be interviewing our Chief Marketing Officer, Kathryn Nizzi, who's going to take us through the best ways to rebrand so that you're meeting the right audience and that you're forward thinking about where your company's going and you're cognizant about the type of messaging that you're putting out that's going to be the most impactful for both the people that look to you as a leader and the clients that you serve. Hey, what's up, you guys? Jeff Cohn here with another episode of the Team Building Podcast, where we interview top team leaders, broker owners, and thought leaders across the country. Today, I have Miss Kathryn Nizzi in studio. She is our Chief Marketing Officer for Elite Real Estate Systems and has been in our organization for almost 10 years. And I'm really excited to have her here in studio. We have a big announcement today and some exciting content to speak on surrounding our rebrand. Kathryn, welcome to the show.
Well, when you say 10 years, it feels a little aggressive.
Almost 50 years
almost
in
50
the organization.
Years. You are correct. I've been since I was 21. I started on my 21st birthday, and I turned 28 in September. So going on 7 years, which is super exciting.
Almost 10.
And
round up.
And for those who have been listening for a long time and long-time clients, I did get a title change, which is super exciting. And along with that, I wanted to introduce our rebrand. I know there's been a lot of followers of the podcast, of you, of Elite Real Estate Systems, of us. And it's really exciting to launch this because 2 years ago, it was just the four of us. You, me, Andy, and Logan, and a few other people here and there. And now we're an organization, I believe, of over 50. And we felt like it was finally time to launch a rebrand, a new website. So it's not a rebrand for the podcast logo staying the same, but the podcast is hosted by Elite Real Estate Systems. And Elite Real Estate Systems has spent the last 6 months now working with Klar Creative here in Nebraska and Omaha. And it was really important to us to work with somebody local, just because you want to support your community where you can. We are a big national brand, and supporting Omaha isn't something we can always do. So in a moment like this, it's been awesome. And yeah, so we get to finally introduce our new brand, and we have a mission statement. We have clear and direct goals and clarity on moving forward on exactly who we are and who we're going to be. And I am excited to see that shift.
Well, we're excited to have you here, and we'll get into all the nitty gritty here in a few minutes. If you are listening to this and you're an agent or a team leader, or you own an ancillary business like mortgage, title, insurance, property management, investment services, this is a great episode for you because we're going to really be dissecting why we did a rebrand. Mm-hmm. So you don't just do a rebrand for a rebrand's sake. There has to be a purpose behind it. And we'll talk intentionally about why we did the rebrand, how we came up with our mission, our vision, how we came up with our brand guideline book, how we picked the company that we were going to use for the rebrand, as well as the website creation. And I think this will be a really good conversation right now and is timely with everything that's going on in the real estate market and all the different changes that everyone's experiencing.
It's a technical conversation, and we're not just going to get on here and tell you like, oh, this is our new brand. Look at our cute new logo, right? We're going to talk about, we want to discuss why we did it, because a lot of you may be feeling, especially the shift that has happened over the last 365 days, the last 2 years, the last 4 years within the real estate world and industry. A lot of people can feel like they have to have a new purpose and a new drive and a new end goal, and that's okay. But you can also make you feel like, but I'm stuck and I don't know how to move forward. So little shifts and big changes, little shifts can cause big changes.
Mm-hmm. It's a great point. It's funny, I got my ASA certification 2 years ago.
Oh, Jeff Cohn talking about how he can sail boats again.
So part of the sailing certification, I don't think I've ever talked about it on the podcast, but part of the sailing certification, you learn all the longitude, latitude, you learn how to use a compass rose, you learn how to, obviously outside of GPS, which has only been around for, 20 or 30 years, you learn how to navigate using just the instruments that you have on the boat. Mm-hmm. And of course, 1 degree, if you're 1 degree off for 10 hours, it's going to make a drastic change in the direction you're going. So let's just kind of kick it off with why we felt as an organization we needed to do a rebrand.
I think the why kind of goes back to how we opened up this episode of Elite Real Estate Systems has pivoted based on the needs and the wants of the clients that we have served and are serving. And we noticed that coaching wasn't enough anymore. And team leaders, broker owners, thought leaders, ancillary business owners, they needed more, they expected more. And I think we own it and know that people want more, and we own the fact that, okay, we're going to go give them more. We're going to be the researcher for them. And we really pivoted, and in a way that we expected, and we knew it wasn't an unexpected pivot. We knew this pivot needed to happen. That's exactly why we've gone from 4 people to over 50 people in 2 years, and have spent the time to hire and build SOPs and all of those things. And for those of you who started listening to the podcast, the first episode came out in 2016. So 8 years ago. We are completely different. You are completely different. And it was time to meet the two together, meet our marketing, meet our brand awareness, meet our brand language and our brand essence to where we were. Because if you got online, it didn't communicate that well. And we believe in being the best and being elite. And this was one of the places, and probably one of the last pieces that made that all come together. And also, it's fun. It's super fun. We've had the same branding previously since I came on in 2017, and I've wanted to change it ever since then. So here we are. It's finally published. It's finally open to the public, and it's finally here. So it's super exciting. And it was a moment for us to level up. And I think consumers, our clients, thought leaders, ancillary businesses, our partners, and ourselves are expecting us to level up. And all of us need to level up. And I think the industry is forcing us to do so. And this was the final piece of us leveling up.
I think you said it very well. There's a quote I always reference in all of the trainings and when I'm speaking on stage, and it's the quote that says, "True leaders serve their followers by empowering them to be just like them." And I think that's what elite encompasses or embodies, and what our mission and our vision is, in helping other people be like us. And I think that there was a large disconnect in coaching and across all coaching organizations to actually partnering. And that's where we wanted Elite Real Estate Systems to step it up in the industry. We're the only coaching organization that I know of that has transitioned into a company that can partner in a joint venture with all teams and brokerages across all verticals, including real estate companies, mortgage, title, insurance, property management, and investment services, to help people increase profit, build wealth, and create freedom, which our vision statement is partnering with real estate leaders to help increase profit, build wealth, create freedom. And it feels so good just to say that, it rolls off your tongue, because unfortunately so many people are just focused on increasing profit and rarely are talking about building the wealth and creating freedom, which is going to be the thing that actually brings happiness and gives us the ability to affect change in the lives of those around us. So we knew there needed to be a rebrand. We've known for quite some time why there was going to be that rebrand. So if somebody's out there with a team now and you started XYZ team, and for a long time you've operated as XYZ team, and you're thinking about a rebrand, I think that there are a lot of resources out there that can help kind of shape the direction that you want to go. But I think the most important thing is to be self-aware enough to know where you came from, where your team is now, and then where you want to take your team. Are you going to add ancillary businesses? Are you going to add other verticals? What's the solution you're offering to the person that you serve? So what would you say, Kathryn, for Elite Real Estate Systems? Like you mentioned, we had 4 people and we were a coaching organization, and now we are this massive company that's nationwide. What was our big why, in what your perspective as the marketing director, now CMO, what was our big why? And then how did the rebrand help us solve that why?
Yeah, I think our very first step in all of this was establishing a true, authentic mission statement that rolled off the tongue, that lives in your brain. That's what really got this off of the ground. And that was Sean, our COO, who really put the time and effort into making sure we all sat down and thought of it. How
much time?
I think it was...
People won't even believe this.
It was probably 100 hours worth of time to come up with one sentence. One sentence.
I agree. If you added up all the time we all thought about things when we left a meeting and we thought about it and put our notes together.
It was probably 100 hours. And you're like, Kathryn, I don't have 100 hours. You don't have 100 hours to make it very clear on your path. Because now what I see happening in our meeting, just from the mission statement alone, not all the fancy hats and shirts and cute logos or cool logos or whatever, establishing the mission statement alone, you walk into a meeting and you know exactly what is going to be talked about. Because everyone refers back to the mission statement, and not in a way that's like, oh, well, you're not doing what's towards the mission statement. It is a very, very clear path forward. And if it's not rowing the boat, or if you cannot tie it into the mission statement, why the heck are we spending the time on it?
Yeah. Does this increase our profit? Does this
Right.
help build wealth? Does this create freedom
Yes.
for us, for our clients, for the
Correct.
consumer? And that's what's so beautiful. We actually also set up a nonprofit. We're in the process of getting it approved. And in that, they asked for a vision statement. And we said, let's just have the same exact vision statement. But instead of it's partnering with real estate leaders, it's just partnering with entrepreneurs to
Right.
help them increase profit, build wealth, create freedom. This applies to the clients we serve. It doesn't matter if you're a loan officer, an insurance agent, a real estate agent.
Look at Starbucks. Look at the other brands that you purchase from every day, and go look at their mission statements, and you're like, oh, wow, actually they do that every single day, but it's a very simple sentence. So I say the first thing is establish a mission statement and make sure your whole team's on board. Get your whole team involved in establishing that mission statement. This is also a perfect example of EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System, if any of you are familiar with that.
What book is that? Or how can someone find that resource?
I forget what the
Rocket Fuel
Thank
and
you.
Traction.
Rocket Fuel and Traction. I just know it's part of the EOS world.
Yep.
So establishing a mission statement, and our why in all of this is, before 2 years ago, or even within the last year, Elite Real Estate Systems was functioning purely from our brains and one idea after the other. And it was very much reaction. And now we get to be strategic and well planned because we have a mission, because we have a vision, and because we are all on the same page of exactly what we need to do to row the boat forward, faster, more efficient, and exactly who we're marketing to, because does that fit our mission statement? Is that our ideal client? And that leads me into my second thing. I think the second thing people need to do is sit down and describe in detail, give them a name, give them hair color, give them eye color, give them a car they drive, your ideal client. How do they talk? What do they listen to? What TV shows do they watch? Describe your ideal client, how much money they make, like describe them. Because then you never have to question who your ideal client is and how you're selling to them and why you're selling to them, all the way back to the mission statement. So those are the two things I think anybody can do. They take time, but it doesn't take money or finances, but it does take time, and it's definitely something really important to get your team in on and the people around you believing in. And I think our why came down to leveling up, being better. I think all of us in the real estate industry have gotten away with being okay for so many years. And now it's getting called out. Yeah.
Good enough.
Good enough. It was fine. It was a fine experience. How was working with your real estate agent? It was fine. How was being on that team? It was fine. How's being a team leader? It's fine. That's not acceptable anymore. And I think you and I have known that for a long time, but it takes a long time to level up in an industry where you're one of the first to do it, or burning or blazing the path.
Yeah.
And because it's weedy and there's a lot of things unknown and there's a lot of conversations and you don't know what's right and you don't know what's wrong. But we figured it out.
And it's hard solving problems. I think there's an Albert Einstein quote that says, with every problem you solve, you create 10 more problems. Mm-hmm. And so we as leaders, no matter what vertical you're in right now, people are looking to you for solutions. And it probably is time, as you listen to this episode, that you ask yourself, should I step up? Do I need to step up? Is that going to best serve me? Is that going to best serve the people that you serve? Is that going to best serve your family? And that's where you have to start with the vision statement. And what are we attempting to do? Who is your avatar, your target market, like Kathryn was talking about? And then once you've decided that, then what direction do you need to go?
I would say too, especially as leaders, if you run a team, whether you have a team of LOs, insurance agents, real estate agents, a title team, there is so much information and people giving away so much free content on the internet. They don't need you as a leader anymore to tell them facts, statistics, how to make the cold calls or things like that. They need you to truly continue to raise the ceiling for them. Because if you're not raising the ceiling, I think we talked about this years ago about building teams within a team, because you never want to set a ceiling for somebody. And I am seeing leaders more and more every day setting ceilings, and they're like, why are people leaving me? They're going the opposite direction because you're trying to. There's so much information and content on the internet. I'm not saying anybody can do it, but if people are dedicated to it, they're going to outgrow your ceiling. They're going to blow through it if you're not being better. And it's your job as a leader every single day to get better for the people that you serve. And that looks different now.
So let's talk about getting better. So like you mentioned, 7 years ago, you came on as an intern and ended up taking a full-time position inside of Elite Real Estate Systems when it was just a coaching platform. The coaching platform actually was not intentional. We created it based on demand because I had been hosted on over 100 podcasts from 2013, 14, and 15. And then I decided I wanted to launch my own podcast, which created a lot of demand for people to come to Omaha. So we now host and have always hosted a team building workshop. We've hosted thousands of teams and brokerages at our team building workshop. And what was the number one thing after the workshop people asked if we offered?
Was coaching.
And
at the time, I just want to say this, at the time, those workshops were $3,000.
Yeah.
Our next workshop is in June, the second week of June 10th. It's virtual, and it's only $197.
Yeah, it's a big difference. We found that if you charge the $3,000 price tag, it's harder to get as many people in, and we want everyone to know what's available to them from coaching and beyond. So the transition now, starting in 17, we beta tested this idea of putting cameras in our office and streaming all of our training. And like you had said, we were more reactive than proactive. And that was because the trainings we were providing were based on what our team in Omaha, Nebraska needed. And for those that haven't heard me say this, we grew to be the number one team in the world at Berkshire in 2018.
I don't think anybody's heard that before.
I don't think they have. We were also the fastest growing real estate team in history. We went from 70 to 700 sides in 6 years. We've also converted more Google PPC leads than any team in history, with over 3,000 converted Google PPC leads for well over $20 million. So I say all of that just to say where we came from. Where we are now is we started to recognize that all these teams who we were coaching needed more than just that. They needed to add other ancillaries, other verticals to increase their profit now more than ever and to build true wealth. Real estate teams alone don't offer a lot of wealth. Mortgage companies have a very low multiplier today. Title companies, a very low multiplier today. But when you put them all together, magic happens. And that is why we chose to become the new version of Elite Real Estate Systems. For those that are just listening, I'm holding my hat up and showing the new logo. Elite is what's highlighted, and Real Estate Systems is in small font. Why don't you address why we went that route?
So our name and our trademark is Elite Real Estate Systems. So we own the trademark of Elite Real Estate Systems. So if anybody wants to go steal it, have fun.
With our attorneys?
Yeah, with our attorneys. They're mean. And it was a lot of conversation with Klar and Chad, who owns Klar, and he has a great team. And we were thinking a lot about the future because we want this to work for a long time, because we don't want to rebrand again. It's not an expensive process. So you have to think about the future. And we always referred back to the word elite, we're elite. And we called ourselves ERS for a long time. And I'm sure plenty of you have called us that as well. It's elite is the word. Elite is the company. Elite is our expectation. And Real Estate Systems is what we offer. So we are elite and we offer real estate systems. And so we had some color changes, very minor. You'll see some blue moving forward, but it's going to be mainly whites and creams and dark browns and blacks. And just a little pivot. You never want to go too drastic, I will say that. And so we are elite, and we have elite expectations for ourselves, and we only partner with elite individuals and teams. And elite is the word that motivates all of us and drives all of us. And we offer real estate systems through partnership, through coaching, through one-on-one coaching, whatever you need. Really, it's very customizable, and I think that's what's unique in our situation. And real estate systems is the whole industry. It's not just teams. It's not just brokerages anymore. And even though teams and brokerages are our number one driver and partner, and very important in our partnerships, it's about building up those teams and those brokerages to be elite organizations.
I love it. Very well said. I couldn't agree more. And in looking at our local office, our HQ, we have 10,000 square feet. It's one of the nicest, if not the nicest, build outs I've ever seen in the real estate space. And it was our intention back in 2020, pre-COVID, to build a hybrid tech-powered office of the future, knowing that the consumer demanded a solution that allowed them to be in person or virtual 6 months after that ideation and goal. As we were building the space, COVID hit and everyone had to go virtual, and people would ask me in news interviews, because we were newly launched, how are you going to respond to this? And I was like, well, we already are ready for it. Everything's set up virtual.
We're
today, how many days a week are you in the office?
0.
I'm here 2 days a week, maybe 3. And most of our staff has the option of coming in person or virtual. If you have clients, maybe you'll come in person. But the point of elite is, if you see our build out, it's elite. Everything we do is elite. And that's where we really wanted to highlight the word elite. If you guys haven't seen the new website that you had mentioned had just been built by Klar, go to eliterealestatesystems.com. One of the things that I think is really unique about our site is it does not look like a traditional real estate company site. We're not a real estate company. We wanted to look more like a consulting firm or a law firm, a little bit more elite, a little higher level. And the reason for that is exactly what you outlined earlier. It's who are we going after? Who is our avatar? So why don't you share with our audience members, who do you think is ERS Elite's avatar?
So I've named him. It's a him. There's a he and a she, because there's 2.
And a they.
And a they. It's a
all encompassing.
Yeah, it's all encompassing. I think the number one word that comes to my mind is a motivated individual. And you can be like, Kathryn, those people are everywhere. They are, but they also aren't. A lot of people are just good just selling houses and being a team leader or being an agent and just selling their 28 houses a year and starting over on January 1. That's great. Yeah. Go do that. I love that for you. I want that. Those people are so important.
I wish that was me. I wish my soul could allow that.
I wish my soul would be good just like walking dogs every day. But
not having to do the rebrand that we just spent a year on.
Yeah.
Just be okay with the
I'm like, it's fine.
ERS,
right?
The joke on ERS is it doesn't even represent real estate, because real estate's RES.
Yeah, I know.
But no one ever called us out. ERES.
They never called us out, but I'm whatever.
ERES.
Yeah. Talk to the hand. So our elite avatar is a motivated individual who is looking for opportunities outside of the commission split. They are somebody who is motivated and ready for more, and also knows the power of ancillaries. And by ancillaries, I also mean home warranty. I also mean all of the things that touch a real estate transaction. I think I read one time, do you know how many different entities touch a real estate transaction? A lot.
30, 40, something.
I read 46 different entities can touch one real estate transaction. And that's insane. That's a lot. And so what else do they look like? I don't know. This was a year ago that we were designing this person. But they have high expectations for themselves, the people that they lead, and they're willing to do the work, because I think I saw somebody on Instagram yesterday. They said anything worth having is going to be hard, and it's going to take longer than you expect, because it's worth it. And I think the people who we're looking for are the people who are ready for the shift and ready to force the shift in the real estate industry, because it is needed. They've known it's been needed, and they've been kind of riding the wave, but they're kind of sick of the wave. They're like, this needs to change. This needs to get better. And that's our avatar. The guy in my brain, the person was named Matt, just because that was like, I feel like I've come across Matt in the world. I've come across so many.
We have like 5 that work for us.
Yeah, we have like 5 that work for us. And then I feel like every event I go to, I meet like 70 Matts. If I don't know their name, I'm like, hi, Matt. Nice to meet you.
Matt's our avatar?
Matt's our avatar.
I like Kyle.
You like Kyle?
Kyle's a better avatar. So as far as who we're looking for as you listen, I love that you said motivated. To me, that's the number one thing for any position is someone that desires to become a better version of themselves. If they plug into our real estate systems, it's going to help them become a better version faster. And like we've said, ever since I started my real estate team in 2011, make more money in less time with less energy.
Absolutely. And better for themselves, but also better for the lives that they touch, the people that depend on them. I think that is a really motivating factor for a lot of people. I don't want you to come in here and be like, well, I just want to make all the money. Like, you want everyone around you to, because that will also lift you up.
100%. So what we have now devised is 3 platforms. Our avatar comes into group coaching. It's $1,000 a month. They can then upgrade to one-on-one coaching, which is an additional $1,000 a month. And then they can upgrade into Powered by Elite, which is $3,000 a month. And of course, with each increase in cost, you have an increase in value add. To be able to have access to all the ancillary businesses and ownership in all the ancillary businesses, lead gen, a myriad of ancillary businesses and affiliates that we work with to help drive more profit to your company. That would be the Powered by offering. But you can pick and choose which one's best for you, and then we will put you on a journey to advance through the 3 different platforms. But ultimately, it's our desire to be partners with everyone. Anyone that's motivated, that wants to grow and has no limits in their future and wants to become the very best that they are capable of becoming. To your point, and I love that you mentioned the social media post, it's work. You don't hire ERS Elite to do the work for you. We'll help you solve the problem. We'll help strategize with you, but you have to roll up your sleeves and do the heavy lifting.
And so do we. We're not sitting back
together.
Either.
That's what a partnership is.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a lot of false prophets out there who say, if you hire us, we're going to do the work for you. Show me where that company is. I'll partner with you today. Do all the work for me and make me rich. It doesn't exist. Those are the make me rich quick schemes. What does work is someone who's already done it before you, who's proven a system, who's proven a model, and can plug you into an already working system so that you can increase your profit, build wealth, and create the freedom you've always wanted.
Yeah. And all of this information is now perfectly and nicely and professionally and beautifully posted on our website, eliterealestatesystems.com. And then there's the button in bright blue that says join the elite that walks you through all of our platforms.
Just one button though, right? It doesn't repeat every time you scroll down.
Just one button. It's in bright blue.
Click on the blue button.
Just click on the blue button and also enjoy our website. If you find errors, please don't tell me. No, please do. But it was a project of love and high expectations and leveling up. So if you could all go, please enjoy it. And so if you see some new looks on our podcast and in our marketing and on our social media, now you know why.
The rebrand. 2.0, baby. So we're super jazzed about it. We've had hundreds of calls already. We have over 10 powered by teams today. We went public this year as far as with offering it to everyone. Last year we ran it in beta, and we're looking for more teams to partner with us in group coaching, one-on-one coaching, and Powered by Elite. We also have made a recent change that's very exciting, and that is anyone that's a qualified investor can come in and invest in the mothership, in the holding company of Elite Real Estate Systems Holding Co., and instantly have ownership of our national mortgage, title, insurance, property management, and investment portfolios. So for more information on any and all, go to the site like Kathryn invited you to, click on the blue link. We'll get some information from you and we'll set up a demo call.
Yeah. Also, feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn as well. For those of you who are on LinkedIn, Jeff Cohn and Kathryn Nizzi, we do a lot on there and would love to connect with you all. It's a little more personal.
It'd be awesome. We also are always looking for new guests to bring on. So if anyone in our audience has someone specific, an author, a thought leader, a top broker, or top mortgage person, top insurance person across the country, and you just have a name, you're like, that'd be a cool interview, send it our way.
Yeah.
I have yet to have someone say no when I've asked them if they want to come on for an interview.
We get a lot of emails every day about people wanting to be on our podcast, and we're pretty picky. So audience suggestions, listener suggestions, subscriber suggestions are the ones I'm looking for, because I get 10 in my inbox every day and I can't do them all. They don't fit. So your suggestions would be ideal.
Also, something I've never done, but I'm going to do today, because I'm not too worried I'm going to get inundated.
Oh, no, gosh.
If anyone ever wants direct access to me and you feel like it's impossible, this is something that I think I've always prided myself on, is access. You can message me on Instagram at Jeff M. Cohn. Jeff, M as in Mark, Cohn, or just email me. Get ready. It will come to me. I don't have anyone scrubbing this.
For now.
Jeff, yeah, Kathryn will eventually.
No.
Jeff at eliterealestatesystems.com. That's it. Then you have access to me. So if you've always been like, I don't want to go click on the link, I don't want to go to the website, I just want to set up a call with Jeff, I want to talk about Powered By, I want to talk about investing, that would be a great reason for you to reach out. Free advice, listen to the podcast episodes. I think we have over 300 hours of content on all major platforms. I don't know how you're listening to this episode, but we would ask when this one ends and you shut it off, please go in, give Kathryn a shout out for doing such a great job with the rebrand and coming on today as a guest, and give us a 5-star review or the most amount of stars you can give us, and always write something. If you can give somebody a nod or a heads up or shout out, I know that matters a lot to the algorithm.
Yeah. And thank you for listening. It's been 8 years of the podcast, and I think we've done an episode every single week. There's some vacation times in there, but we've been here and you guys have been listening, and the podcast is awesome. And it's so fun. And the listeners, the people who comment on YouTube, the people who leave reviews, where we look at everything, and it's awesome. Thank you.
I think people assume when they make a comment or a shout out, like we're not going to notice it because we get so much. We actually get a lot less than you would expect, than I would think. So it does mean a lot. We do see it. We do read it. We read good and bad feedback.
Oh, yeah.
People love bad feedback. If anyone thinks I'm narcissistic or I like to talk too much, feel free to post that as well. Because Kathryn, I think that gives you a great star on your shoulder.
Yeah, I 5-star those comments.
Yeah, she loves that.
Yeah. Yeah, YouTube. People on YouTube love to comment on us.
So we don't care what kind of comments. Just make comments.
No, it feeds the algorithm, baby. Keep commenting. I don't care.
Hear what you think, and it helps us to take our stuff to the next level. One thing that I will invite everyone to take note of is within the next couple of months, you will see an updated studio. So this studio has been awesome. Our producer is still with us. Dana, how long have you been with us now? 10 plus years, right? He came over a long time ago to be an agent with us. He's done every type of job, but is doing an incredible job as our producer. And he's working with a new company that we just partnered with recently to help update our studio here and my at-home studio. So make sure you kind of keep an eye on that. We should be having better mics, better lighting, better background, better props.
Better host. What?
Hey, what? Were we hired? Who is there? We're taking applications. Send me an email if you want to host the show. But Kathryn, thank you.
Thank you.
For Rebrand. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for all you've done to help build up ERS. And I second everything you said on the audience. You guys, this has been awesome. This is one of my favorite things I do in my week is host podcast episodes. I don't love the individual episodes as much. I know for those listening, you get content really fast. It's hard and draining to deliver that content and not have any type of gap. So it was fun today to have you sharing in the conversation with me. I appreciate it.
You know, I'm not going to sit here and brag, but my podcast episode from a year and a half ago is still the highest rated podcast episode.
Was that the one you paid to boost on Facebook?
I did not put any money behind it.
So nefarious.
Yes.
All
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
for
you,
listening.
Kathryn. Appreciate
Thank
you
you.
coming on.